Hey everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm doing quite a new tarot spread actually. This is the first time I'm doing this on the channel, but this will be the Pink Supermoon tarot reading. And this is for, firstly I'm doing this in regards to the fire sign, seeing as we're in Aries season. So I'm going to be kicking off with Aries, okay? So just to let you know, for the general readings overall, I'm going to be using the Dark Mirror Oracle deck, the Work Your Light Oracle deck, as well as the Moonology, and of course the Wild Unknown Tarot, okay? So what I'll be looking at firstly is in regards to the energies that are being brought to the surface at this time to be released. We'll then be looking at the energies that you're moving in towards, and we'll also look at messages from the moon, and of course some clarification with the tarot. So let's get stuck in. So as I said, the first sign will be for Aries. All of these will be time-stamped in the description also. So Aries, let's have a look then in regards to what it is you're releasing. First of all, what is it that the shadow self is revealing at the time of this incredible supermoon? What is it that the shadow is revealing to be released for Aries? Okay, so you've got artificial heart and fated to suffer. So I feel like you are purging, sorry, that's my phone there. I feel like you are purging this feeling of having to shut down, of being switched off emotionally, feeling like you're protecting your heart space, because otherwise once you open up your heart center, you feel like you're destined for further heartbreak, right? So every time you feel like you're ready to give some part of yourself, whether it's to romantic connection, your family connections, friendship circles, you're sometimes thinking that, okay, every time I do this, I'm the one that ends up getting hurt. So I'm just going to stay in this energy. It's just easier to just focus on my day-to-day, the things that I'm doing in my life, and not worry about, my connections. But I think you know that this is actually not the best thing for you, because you are a romantic heart. Some of you might be thinking, Demari, what are you talking about? But the reality is, I think you do have a lot to give. You are very emotional in your connections. You have a lot of love. You have a lot of care. You might not be spilling your emotions all over the place, but you have so much love inside of you to give, right? And that's why, regardless of how much you've been through in your relationships, in your connections with your family, in connections with friendship circles, right, you're still always willing to take the plunge. There's always that part of you that can't resist trying again, right? So rather than seeing that as something negative and thinking that it's only going to lead to something where you're the one that's going to suffer, you're the one that's going to be harmed in some way, it's releasing that fear, releasing that negative self-belief, right? It's a limiting belief. So what energy are you moving towards? Okay. So you got two in regards to the dark mirror. I'm just going to pull a second one for yourself, so the energies are balanced. So you have the Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? So this is like, in the Christian sense, like the energy of the Mother Mary, okay? And you have Inner Temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. What were we just talking about? Opening up the heart chakra, opening up the heart space, giving into love, because essentially that's your true state. That's what you truly are. You are a being of light, of love, right? Of divinity, right? So it's opening up to your true self, opening up your heart space so that your higher self can come in and do the inner healing that needs to take place, right, within your heart center. And then from there, you'll be able to express yourself fully. You'll be more creative. You'll be feeling more abundant. You'll feel bliss again, right? So it's saying that, yeah, your inner child needs to be mothered, okay? You need to be delicate with yourself in this time. And yeah, it's a process. It's the opening up of your heart center. And it's going to be a bit emotional. It's going to be, you know, you might even cry, but that's okay, you know, because you are releasing, and you're not only are you purging these hard walls, these harsh limiting beliefs that you've imposed on yourself, but you're also you're surrendering to the process. You're surrendering to the universe. You're surrendering to your own true state of being, and that's love, right? You are a being of light and love, as well as having this darker shadow aspects of yourself, okay? So it's opening up to your higher self and allowing that light to pour through. Okay. So now I just want to pull some cards in regards to the Moonology, seeing as we are literally in the transition of a supermoon phase. So let's have a look for you. Interesting. All right. So you have nothing will come of this situation, the void, of course, moon. And I feel like that's definitely in regards to this shadow energy here that's being purged at this time. You know, nothing good comes from imposing this limiting belief on yourself that you will never get the love that you're truly seeking, right? And that it's better to close yourself down, because it's not the case, right? You know that even regardless of how it may have scarred you, impacted you, how it may appear on the surface, you know that deep down you have so much to give, and that you are ready to receive it also. So by choosing to stay in that situation will not bring you any closer or any comfort, right? To being, or any closer to being where you want to be. And then in regards to the other Moonology card, you have the answers are coming, full moon in Gemini, okay? So that's an interesting, it's interesting that this came out, full moon in Gemini, right? It's more air energy, which we currently are experiencing a full moon in Libra. So it's just interesting that that came out. But the answers are coming, okay? The answers you need are coming. So that tells you, right, that you don't have to have it sussed out, that you don't have to, you know, be so fearful of what will happen when you open yourself up, okay? When you allow yourself to love again. Because things will become clear, right? The answers are coming. It's that clear. I don't need to say any more in regards to that. So I'm just going to pull a couple of tarot cards for you now, just to give you some final parting advice from the universe. Okay. So the first card you have is the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So this is the thing, you're coming out of this space of feeling lack, right? Feeling like you don't have enough, that you're not enough, that you're not able to give enough, or you're not willing to give certain parts of yourself, right? That you're trying to keep the whole intact, but you don't have to give any part of yourself away. Even when we let someone into our heart space, that doesn't mean we're giving our hearts away like it's usually conveyed. We're not, okay? Because we are a well of infinite love and possibility, right? And we can give that love and express it into different ways to different people, such as our friends, our family, right? Those closest to us. And even complete strangers, you know, when we see someone who's having a rough time, you know, sometimes you feel compelled to check in, ask if they're okay, if they need help. That's an expression of love also, right? So it's not that there's not enough love to go around and that you have to contain it for yourself, because you can't possibly love yourself if you express it to others. No. And I think you're starting to realize that also. In regards, the next card you have the Three of Wands in reverse, so fire energy. This is your energy, Aries, okay? And this is talking about, you know, what is it that you're trying to manifest? What is it that you want, right? In order to really change things for the better, because I feel like you have been going through a huge transformation. And, you know, there are certain situations that are playing out in chapters that are closing in your life. And I feel like when it comes to your heart space especially, you're being worked on quite diligently by the universe, by your guides, ascended masters, you know, by various higher aspects, right? And I feel like you're being asked to call into question what it is you want moving forward. What is it you're trying to manifest, you know? What is it that stops you from wanting to open up your heart space into the love and the abundance and the guidance that is trying to pour through you at this time, essentially? And then you have the Nine of Swords, right? So this is air energy. And this is telling you that, you know, mentally, you're still quite caught up in a situation. There's still a lot of anxiety, there's still a lot of uncertainty, there's still a lot of confusion. I feel like more than confusion, you're more fearful of communicating something, particularly because you're so in your head about it. You feel like, you know, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, it's giving me insomnia, it's giving me headaches, it's making me stressed. You know, I don't want to deal with this situation anymore. And it's like, well, the reality is you're causing yourself this pain, right? By being so afraid to take a chance because something seems like it's bound to go wrong, right? Because of what you've been through in the past. But that's not necessarily the case. But if you don't come out of the space and stay very much in your head and anxious about it and not open up and give in and give it a chance, nothing good will come from it, right? So you have to give it a chance. You have to open up your heart and realize that actually you have so much more going for you than you realize. You just need to take care of yourself and be a bit tender towards, you know, your emotions. If you have an emotional outburst, if you're feeling fragile in any way, that's okay. You have to be gentle with yourself at this time because your heart space is being opened up, right? And it's a process, and it's a significant process. So of course, you know, it's going to rattle you a little bit, and you're going to feel a little bit unsteady and a little bit uncertain, but there's no need to worry. Things will become clear. The answers are coming. So yeah, that was your reading, Aries. I hope that helped you. If you enjoyed it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this kind of spread, do let me know, because it's likely that I will do another one of this format in the near future, okay? Okay, now I'm going to be taking a look at the energies at this time for the sign of Leo. So Leo, what is it that your shadow side is revealing at the time of the supermoon? What is it that's being purged? And, okay, maybe just the one is sufficient. Colorless angel. Okay. So yeah, I feel like, for me, I really feel like this card for me, not just because of his depiction, but just the energies of this card and what it means. For me, this energy represents, you know, the consequence after the fall, right? So this for me is like this is like symbolized as Lucifer falling from grace, right? He's already fallen, right? Descended. And this is the aftermath of that descension, okay? When you've already fell from grace and you're just withering away, okay? You see how it's colorless angel, he's becoming paler and paler, like his life source even is just draining the longer he stays there in this energy, right? And that's what I feel like. And in the background you've got a dark horse, right? And I feel like that's the shadow just like running amok, essentially. And I feel like this is what you're trying to purge and release at this time, Leo. You know, that you feel like you've fallen so far from grace, and that the thing, maybe something significant in your life, you feel like you've lost it. You feel like all hope is lost. So you're just kind of resigning yourself to failure in a way, which is terrible. That's not what you want to be doing, of course, right? But this is something you're coming out of. Like I said, this is what's being purged, so it's good that you're coming out of this space, okay? Because that's not where anyone wants to be operating from, right? So let's have a look in regards to what is being well, what it is you're moving towards, right? The energies you're moving forward into. So you have share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression, okay? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is you realizing that you don't need to be in this energy anymore, okay? That yes, you fell, something happened, maybe you made a bad decision, maybe you missed out on an opportunity because you made an impulsive decision, maybe you rejected something that you actually wanted, maybe you didn't handle a situation in the best way, okay? But either way, it's time to stop punishing yourself, okay? You've already learned the karmic lesson of this situation, but it's time to get out there and to, like I say, share your voice, communicate. That's the key message here. Come out of your cave, come out of this energy, right? Persecution, right? You're not being hunted at this point. You're not being got, right? You're not being sought after by the universe. You've already learned the lesson at this point, and now it's time to express your feelings. It's time to come out and communicate what it is you feel you need to say, what needs to be said in order to help you move forward, right? So there's no need to punish yourself anymore at this point, okay? That's the important thing that you need to be aware of. So let's have a look at this in regards to the Moonology deck now. And see what the moon, the full moon energy is shining a light on in regards to these aspects, okay? So what you're moving out of and what you're moving towards. So let's look at colorless angel first. Okay, interesting. And okay then, cards just went flying as they do sometimes. Ugh. Alright, so for colorless angel you have, it's funny because Aries just got this, you have the answers are coming, full moon in Gemini, okay? So the information, the way in which whatever's coming in is going to help you get out of this state properly, okay? I feel like you're already feeling the pull, the need to come out of this, but you may be finding it difficult. But there's going to be some nudges or some clear communication coming in through the universe that's going to help you get out of this state, okay? And it's also prompting you that if you want answers, if you want to know what chance you have of redeeming yourself in your eyes, right? Or helping you to communicate with whoever you felt you've wronged or whoever you felt rejected by, or whatever you feel you need to do to resolve a situation, you're only going to get your answers if you communicate, right? You're being guided to communicate, share your voice, okay? So that's what you need to do if you want those answers to come through, okay? You need to be the one to go and seek them, because they are coming, right? That's what's showing clearly here, that the answers are coming. And in regards to share your voice, you have it's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. So you have full moon in Gemini and full moon in Scorpio, okay? So that's water and air, okay? So when it comes to your mental state, you're needing some answers, okay? Because that's where you feel like there's confusion. However, to get the answers, you need to communicate. You need to come out of your shell, get out there and communicate, okay? And then, you know, once you do that, you'll get your answers and you'll be able to dispel any lingering negativity, okay, that's preventing you from moving forward, that's holding you back, okay? There is an ending here. There is an ending of this cycle, right? And particularly with how you're feeling about yourself, that's coming to an end, right? You have an opportunity to release it if you take the initiative, essentially. Okay. And then let's have a look in regards to the Tower here. I'll take both of those there. So first card is the High Priestess, okay? So I really associate this with water energy in particular, particularly Pisces and Cancer's card, right? I'd say. But either way, I feel like it's coming to your awareness, right? That you've been holding your tongue for too long, right? The High Priestess is often associated with like a vow of silence, or choosing to you know, you're starting to see more clearly. Your intuition is on point, right? You have that inner knowing, that spiritual awareness, right? The information is coming through you at this time, but you're choosing not to communicate anything yet. But that's what you're coming out of. You're coming out of this state of just observation, pretty much. You're coming out of that. Next, you have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, so earth energy. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. This is part of your fear. Your fear is that you won't hit the target. You won't find a means to communicate effectively what it is that you truly want, what it is that you're trying to start afresh, right? And that you're not going to find a means to do that, right? But you've got to realize that that's not possible until you put yourself out there. And even if you don't get the answers you want, you're going to get answers, so you can move forward regardless, okay? In regards to the next card, you have the World in reverse. You see how these are mirroring each other, right? And it's like you can't start afresh until you address this situation head on, pretty much. It's like you have an opportunity to move forward, to start a new chapter, right? To pick yourself up, take the lessons that you've learned, and really start to take control of your life again, not allowing your life to pass you by, but seizing this opportunity for growth, expansion, spiritual awareness, right? But your light side and your shadow side, your high self and your shadow self, are mirroring each other right now. It's like your higher self is taking a back seat because it knows that your ego essentially has to do the work. And your shadow self is even taking a back seat at this point because it's just like, there's nowhere else to go from here, you know? Like, you need to do something, you know, pretty much. You know, so they're mirroring each other because they're waiting for you, your conscious self, to do what is needed, you know, because they've already gone back and forth. They've already had this yo-yoing effect, right, on each other. But now it's up to you, your conscious self, to do something about it. And then finally you have the Three of Cups. So this is it. This is the communication. This is the setup, right? This is you being in a safe space where you feel it's safe to open up about your feelings. That you can communicate honestly and openly about what it is you've been experiencing, what it is that you want, what you're trying to move towards, okay? And it being taken seriously, you know, it being acknowledged, right? Being accepted. Even if you, like I said, you might not get the circumstances you want at the end, you're still going to come away glad that you did it because you know where you stand, you know what you need to do. And like I said, you're going to be in a safe space to do it, I feel. Okay, so now's the time to communicate. So I hope that helps for you, Leo. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments if you found this kind of reading enjoyable and useful, because I know it's a different format. So yeah, just let me know what you think, and I hope this helps you. Okay, so now next up is Sagittarius. So let's see what the Pink Supermoon has in store for you guys. What is it that you're releasing at this time? What is coming to the surface from the shadow side to be released? Okay, interesting. So you have Alone in the World, and you have Today for Tomorrow. Okay, so this is talking about sacrifice, making a sacrifice for a better tomorrow. You know, sacrificing something that brings you great joy and fulfillment now, in the hopes that it will be better for everyone involved in the long term, and even yourself, okay? Feeling like you're constantly having to make sacrifices for a future dream, a future vision, for something that's a possibility, something that maybe even be somewhat pressured on you through family connections, or some kind of obligation you feel like you have, a commitment, right? But at the root of it all, even with that in mind, even feeling like you have to fulfill some oath, some promise, right? Either to your future self or to ancestral connections, because something to do with your ancestors for some of you, or something like a family commitment, or a commitment in a relationship, you feel like you have to make a lot of sacrifices that are affecting your happiness. But as a result, you're feeling alone. You're feeling like you're the only one that's making all of these sacrifices. And you feel like every time you do it, you're just stripping yourself bare. You're feeling like a little part of your happiness is being ripped from you, right? That's what I'm getting. But you're releasing that. You're starting to realize where you may be sacrificing too much, and where you need to start pulling your energy back and start thinking about your happiness in the present, right? So let's have a look in regards to the energies you're moving towards. Okay, both cards straight away. So the first card you got is Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Again, like some of you are on a soul mission right now, and that's why you feel like you have to make these great sacrifices at the cost of your happiness now, because you're aware that there's a situation at work currently that's bigger than yourself, right? Especially if you're very spiritually minded, if you're very spiritually tapped in and aware of the current circumstances that we find ourselves in, right? You know that you have a bigger calling, so you feel like you have to sacrifice a lot of your joy now in order to fulfill this purpose, because not only do you have a mission within your own life, you have a bigger part to play. Like you have another role that affects the collective, that is that's relevant to the collective consciousness, right? And the movement of things and the things that are yet to come, right? So that's why you're sacrificing a lot of your present happiness in order to try and create a better future for the collective, right? You're playing a role in that, even if you feel like, but it's so small and insignificant. It's not insignificant. Everything is significant, okay? So just be aware of that. And next you have Cancer of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms, okay? So that's letting you know that you are being supported, that this is like the energy, I feel, of like the ascended masters, okay? So you are being divinely guided by the ascended masters, by your spirit guides, okay? And they're trying to help you and to show you that you don't have to sacrifice all of your joy in order to fulfill your role. It's actually essential that you embody love, light, joy, in order to properly fulfill it, okay? Because you need to spread that into the lives as many people as you come into contact with as possible, right? So you got to see where I'm coming from. Like this is kind of a bit deceptive, and this is where the information's been misconstrued either by your interpretation of what's coming through you at this time, or what's been communicated to you directly through family, or those close, or others that are close to you at this time. Okay, so let's have a look then in regards to your Moonology deck, the Moonology deck, sorry. Gosh, I will be able to speak one day, I promise. So, why have the cards flipped around like that? That's so strange. They're just like gone here, there, and everywhere. Just bear with me one moment. Okay. Alright, so what does the Moonology have to say about this? In regards to what is being purged from the shadow at this time. Too much. Okay. Alright, so you have meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. So this is saying, that in regards to what you think you need to release in, what you need to, these beliefs that have either been forced upon you or what you've kind of adopted yourself, these are something you really have to meditate on. You have to meditate and contemplate, as it says. Because it's affecting your emotional well-being. It's affecting possibly even your mental health, but definitely emotionally, because you feel like you are not entitled to joy. Okay, you're not entitled to feel happiness. Your focus has to be purely on the mission, purely on fulfilling whatever it is that you feel like is your path, right? But that's not necessarily the case. As I said, I feel like that's kind of that'd be shooting yourself in the foot to do that, because it's essential to be in a place of peace and to be able to experience bliss in order to promote that into the world, right? So you really have to contemplate on this and maybe challenge those beliefs, okay? And then what about in regards to these energies that you're being moved towards and that you are walking towards? Yeah, it says it's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio, okay? So yeah, particularly with this full moon, I would say this is your primary focus, letting go of this idea that you're not allowed to experience joy, that you have to make all these sacrifices in order to fulfill your purpose, right? Because that's not the case, and it's I feel like that's actually working against you, okay? So you have to release these negative beliefs and thought processes, right, in regards to your soul mission, because your soul mission requires you to uplift others. So you have to be uplifted in yourself. You have to be joyful. You have to be in a space of love and tranquility and peace and harmony, right? You're going to get the help in order to do that as well. You're being divinely supported and guided so that you can be in that space and operating from a high frequency, right? You'll get a lot of downloads, and I feel like the Ascended Masters will really do a lot of work on your chakras also to help cleanse the negativity out of your energy centers, right? So that you can open up and really take in this really strong, positive, nurturing energy that they're trying to bring into you, okay, at this time. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the tarot, and that will conclude your Pink Supermoon reading. Alright, so the first card you have is the Devil, so Capricorn energy, right? So this is it. This is the deception here that, oh, I need to be a martyr in order to fulfill my purpose, and that's deception. That's only going to bring you into a negative space, and that's what's being worked on by the universe and by the Ascended Masters and your spirit guides at this time. They're trying to help you shift out of that negativity, right? So by believing in that, that's actually creating more deception, more toxicity into the situation and bringing you further down. So it's important that you release that belief, right? Next, you have the Ace of Cups. This is what I'm talking about. Allowing yourself to be full and whole and complete, expressing your joy, taking pleasure in the little and the big things that bring you a lot of joy. Okay, like true happiness, not fleeting happiness, but true happiness, right? Really fulfilling and pouring back in yourself so you can pour out also and not feel like you're a well that's constantly running dry, okay? That's emotional fulfillment that we're talking about. Next, you have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So this is your energy, fire energy, okay? So yeah, as such, you're feeling burnt out. So that's something that needs addressing. Because how can you pour energy into the world if you're allowing yourself to be depleted simply because of something that you believe to be true, which may not be? Okay, so that's why it's important that you meditate and contemplate this, because that will help you to see things more clearly from a more aligned perspective, right? And you can see where you may be holding yourself back. And then next you have the Two of Cups, okay? So there may be a romantic situation coming in that's going to really help to open your eyes in regards to this. That's going to help that love to flow through. So if you are single right now, that may be coming in very soon for you. So it's important that you don't apply any negative connotations or reject it simply because you feel like it's not for you, because it's possible that the universe is bringing this in for you so that you can align yourself with this energy, right? In order to do the work that is necessary. All right, so just be aware of that. If you're already in a connection, then you're being asked to really step into that with love and warmth, okay? Because that's what's required to keep it healthy. That's what's required to keep it balanced, right? And for the love to flow freely, you know, no stagnation within the connection. So yeah, really, really positive. So I hope that helps you, Sagittarius. If you like this reading, I mean, it's a totally brand new layer that I'm doing here. So do let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I hope that you enjoyed it. So yeah, to all the fire signs, thank you so much for reading this. If you haven't, reading this, thank you so much for watching this. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you're already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for checking out this video and for staying with me as I get back into the swing of things, and for being a part of this community. And yeah, I will do another reading for you very soon. But in the meantime, I wish you all the best with this process, and no doubt you guys are going to be on your way to doing some even more amazing things. So take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.